What's up, Big Brown Breakdown listeners? I am Brendan Schaub, yelling into your microphone, my microphone, yelling to your headphones, your car stereo, maybe you're at work. I don't know what you're doing, but you're jamming to this, and I appreciate you guys. I am fresh off a 2.5 hour wait at the government building. I had to renew my passport. Made an appointment. I had a 10 o'clock appointment. They said, "Oh, cool, you got an appointment? Go ahead and get in line for me." I went, "But I have an appointment." I went, "Yeah, I know. I know. You made it online?" I went, "Well, yeah, it said I'd be here at 10. It's 9:15. I came early just to make sure everything's all good." They go, "No, we get that. Yeah, get back in that lane." It looked like a fucking Disneyland ride line. Like, it was like, I mean, I couldn't see the end of it. I'm like, "Are you shitting me?" They're like, "We're not." And this, the officers, security team, they're great guys, nice guys, Big Brown Breakdown listeners, Friday Kid listeners. It's like, "Dude, what's up?" Talking to them, like, "Not much, man. Is there any way we can figure something out here? Like, wish you could help, man." All right. It's just the whole government thing, man. Think of the government building. First of all, it's from the 1970s. It looked like Starchy and Hutch. And it was just super old school. And it's just not ran very efficiently, man. I don't know what they're going to do. People yell they want bigger government, stuff like that. That's what you get, man. It was a straight up nightmare. There has to be a better way. But nonetheless, Australia, Auckland, I'm coming now. My passport wasn't expired. It expires the day when I get back from Australia. But I guess if you're traveling, they're scared that you're going to get in the country and not have a passport and you just stay there. Australia, Auckland, I ain't staying. I ain't living there. Let a brother live. Why'd you guys put me through that? But now my passport should be good. I had to expedite it. And right now all the show, I think, probably as you guys are listening, especially you guys in Australia when you're listening, all shows are sold out. There's a few, they just released more tickets in Auckland, but other than that, I think every show is sold out. They're trying to figure out how to add extra shows in Sydney and Brisbane. They're trying to figure it out. So if they add, it will only be in Sydney and Brisbane, as long as that's all I know as of right now. But I'm sure we'll have more info for you. But I'm kind of getting excited, man, to head to Australia. Are you?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
Are you nervous about the flight?
The flight's probably the biggest thing I'm nervous about.
Me too.
Why is that?
Because you're trapped on a submarine that flies in the air that's 30,000 above fucking anything else.
You've flown like long times before, right?
Only listen, man. I'm and people know this. I am not Carmen Sandiego. I do not travel a lot. I fucking love LA. It's the best place on earth to me. Like, my life here is perfect. So to get me to leave takes a hell of a lot. And I just, I think Australia, I've always wanted to go there. They have a crazy, the fan base down there is nuts. Like, we just did the demographics of like the listeners on the show, and it's like 80% United States. UK's huge. Yep. Australia is only like, I think 6%, but I've sold out every theater. It's crazy. Think about those fans. Yeah. They're nuts in a great way. So, I don't know. I just feel like it was the time to do it. My son's young enough where, if I'm gone, it's not, crazy. So, I don't know. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, I haven't traveled a lot. The only time I travel, really, I've traveled all around the United States with football and sports and the UFC all over. And Canada, Mexico, Hawaii, I love. And then the only time I've, like, a long flight was to South America, to Brazil. But that's like, you go Atlanta. I went Denver to Atlanta, which is like 4 hours, and then
4's good.
And then you go Atlanta to Brazil, which is like another 8 hours, I think.
Okay, that's not too bad.
It's not like horrible. I think 8 hours. It might be 10.
Still, well, 10's probably where that's like the line where it's long.
I'm thinking about taking. I got a friend who knows a Dorito guy who has a friend who can get sleeping pills illegally.
A Dorito guy.
So I'm thinking about taking some sleeping pills.
That's probably your best bet.
I know, but my brother's like, that's number one way people die in planes, man.
Really?
They're asleep. Yeah, I'm like, not a lot of people die in planes unless that bitch crashes. And it only crashes, obviously if a terrorist takes it over, I'm going to fucking go AWOL. But it only crashes if it's taken off or landing. Never in the air. You know that?
No.
It's like the crashes only happen at takeoffs or landings.
I hate even talking about that stuff, man. I really do.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think one of the worst parts is just being, stuck in a chair for 14 hours or 15 hours or whatever it is.
That's why I'll get us some of these magical sleeping pills. You don't even know. You just wake up. It's like, how nice would it be? We leave L.A., wake up in Australia.
That would be sick.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But I don't want to take those sleeping pills. Too scared.
Are you?
Yeah. It'll probably mess you up for the whole trip.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible it might mess you up. So.
Or you taking your awesome the whole time in Australia.
Well, if you take it and I don't, we can have a good way
That's
to
true.
gauge.
See what happens.
Yeah,
that's true. Although you're gonna be grouchy as fuck on that plane. I'm excited though, man. I'm super excited. A lot of things going on. God, you see the Ariana Grande concert?
No.
You haven't seen that?
Nope. Rapping.
Bullshit.
I swear to God.
Dude, Ariana Grande in Manchester, England.
Oh,
Terrorist bomber, suicide bomber. Blew
that
up.
was at her concert?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
I think 22 dead.
Shit.
I know. I think a 21-year-old kid, 22-year-old kid did it. His family was from Libya. They fled the horrible regime there, and they were, refugees, came to London. It's just a shitty story, man.
Yeah.
Really bums me out. I'm that guy that watches every detail on CNN. And it's frustrating because, it takes some time to get the facts together. So I wake up in the morning just trying to figure it out. But fuck, man. Crazy, right?
Yep.
I don't think we have to worry about that shit. Not famous enough where I just like, all right, let's blow up that B-Shop show.
I don't know what to talk about.
Well, it's not something we have to worry about. Nowhere near that level. Unless they're like, let's go for real soft zones. This is not a way to sell tickets. Let's go for a real soft zone,
What are you talking about?
Go for
this
those
stuff?
B-list celebrities.
Jesus.
Blow that thing up. Yeah, it got dark. Sorry, man. It's a gloomy day. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, that sucks. I hate hearing every few weeks pass by and then something, when you start feeling comfortable, something pops up again.
This is the thing, though. Statistically, you're more likely to die on the highway driving into work, into the studio, than you are to get blown up by an ISIS moron. And I love what Trump said. I know people give him shit, but he's like, it's just they're terrible losers. It's just like I like that bro kind of like.
Yeah.
They're just fucking losers. The guys that do this are fucking moron losers. I was like, I like that. Instead, they're like, these are extremists, Muslim terrorists. That's usually how they talk. I was like, no, these guys are fucking losers. Just like straight up. That's what they are, man. But that's not why you guys listen to this podcast. That's not why you guys listen to it at all. There's a lot of fight news going on. I mean, obviously, the thing that everybody's talking about is this UFC Fighters Summit, which why they do it, I have no idea why they still do it. Is it, I have no idea. It was an issue, when the old regime with Lorenzo, the Fertitas, and Dana, when they would do it then, they require you to go. The veterans, you didn't have to go as much stuff, but they still want everyone to be there. All it is, just to let you guys know, and I'll tell you what I think about the new regime, what they're doing, but all it used to be is so they can check off, like, these guys know. They know we gave them this whole seminar on weight cutting. So if there's a death, it kind of covers their ass. These guys know what they're going to do. We gave them a whole seminar on brain trauma if they get punched in the face. These guys know the risk of overtraining. These guys know this and how important social media is. Don't blame us. We gave you the seminar. So it's kind of just so they can check off the boxes. Dana and Lorenzo was there maybe 10 minutes. Come in, hey guys, what's up? Thanks for coming. Let me introduce you to Reed Harris. That's how it went down. It's just to check off the boxes. And everyone had to come in so they could check off that box. I mean, it was rough, man. And then now it's like, I don't even know if Ari Emanuel was there.
I think he was there.
Was he?
Yeah, I saw someone take a picture with him. I don't know how long he was there, but saw someone take a picture with him.
Now it's like, hey guys, Let me introduce you to the new company. We're going to flex our muscles. We got more money than God. Check out Snoop Dogg. Huh? Look at it. Snoop Dogg. How cool is that? You know, and then they call these favors in with, you know, Strahan, Snoop Dogg, all these people because WME, you know, owns the company now. And I mean, I'm sick of talking about how screwed over the fighters getting the Reebok stuff, and we'll get into that. We're beating a dead horse here, you know. But the thing is because you know Mike Strahan's a good dude. Met the guy, smart, sharp dude. You know, he was the captain of the New York fucking Giants. You know, one of the greatest Giants of all time, New York football Giants. He knows what it's like being an athlete, scraping by, getting everything you want. If someone sat Michael Strahan down and went, listen, bro, I know you're coming to this seminar to speak to these fighters and talk about how great everything is. Look what's going on here, man. Let me just, so that huge Gustafsson Glover, you know who Gustafsson is? I'm sure you'd go, yeah, because he likes UFC. Do you know who Glover Teixeira is? Yeah, I do. You remember they both fought John and then Rumble, you just explain it to him? I'm sure you go, yeah, I know both those guys. They're the main event this Sunday from that Reebok sponsor that you know you're here to promote. They're both, you know, Gustafsson's the headliner in his hometown on Fox Sports. He's getting $10,000.
Been around forever too. Crazy.
Getting $10,000. One guy's ranked number one. One guy's ranked number two. He's getting $10,000. And this is only sponsorship money.
Crazy.
And now here's the other thing. Here's the other thing, Michael. So if Gustafsson wins, he has no one to help him get to whatever he wants. If he wants a title shot, he has no one. They dictate his entire future. Oh, and then let me tell you about this girl, Cyborg. You know?
And 10,000 actually for a regular person, that sounds like a good amount of money. However, I realize how much money you guys are making on sponsorships, what they took away. So when you start realizing that, then I realize how much of a crazy
10,000 when Gustafsson fought. Let's say when he fought Phil Davis, one of his first fights when he got choked out. 10,000 would be a small circle on your patch. 10,000 for me when I fought Arlovsky or Mitrione, we turned them down. If someone came to us like, hey, we want to give Shab $10,000, and you know, I'm far cry from Alexander Gustafsson or Glover Teixeira. Someone came to me and was like, hey, we want to put a big patch on Brennan's ass for $10,000. My management would have laughed at him. Mm-hmm. So you know, and you see these celebrities, and you know, and they're like, oh, this is great. And these celebrities who come from an entertainment background, they know the struggle. They have a writers guild. They have, you know, people who fought for them. There's these unions and, you know, associations who help them get to where they're at. So I think it's, you know, it's just not transparent. You know, and they're busy people, so who's going to sit down and explain it to them? And obviously, if you're Mike Strahan, you're represented by WME, or you're Snoop Dogg represented by WME, what do you think they're telling them? You think they're giving them the lowdown?
No.
And then also, there's a reason why I don't hear Luke Thomas or Ariel Helwani or Brett Amayako, or is that how you say his name? I was fucking up. I'm sorry, Brett. It's fucking tough. You for sure get your last name easier. But Brett, Ariel, Luke Thomas, name any of the big dogs, the MMA junkie guys. There's a reason why you don't see the mainstream media, as far as, I'm sorry, the mainstream MMA media. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why you don't see them getting these big interviews with the UFC brass, or there's a reason why you don't see Dana going to them to give interviews. There's a reason why you don't see Dana going to them to talk about Conor McGregor, Floyd, because they're going to ask those ball-busting questions. What are you going to explain to us how the A side is done, and the mainstream media in the UFC, mixed martial arts media, is going, yeah, we know all that. You assume we know all that. So they're going to ask you the hard-hitting questions like, yeah, looking back on Reebok, do you think it's a bad idea you had a fucking rapper introduce you to this shoe company? You know, it's like that's how this relationship got started. And he knows nothing about the sport. Now you guys made this huge deal. Do you looking back on it? You know, like the real journalists are really they're gonna hit you with hard questions. That's why you never see Dana do scrums. That's why you never see Dana address the media anymore. He goes on Colin Cowherd. He goes on Stephen A. Smith, who they know the very, very basics, because they're just going to say, man, what's it going to take? You know, they're not getting into the nitty gritty because the public doesn't want that because they just don't know. So you go on First Take, you go on Sports Center. I mean, they're tossing up softballs hey, how's this Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather thing going on? It's all we talk about. Now, if you're Max Holloway, Jose Aldo, have you seen any press for that?
No.
Nothing. For a world title in Brazil, Jose Aldo, one of the greatest of all time. Max Holloway, your next big thing. You know the pride in Hawaii? BJ Penn, all these guys, Travis Brown. There's some fucking monsters out of Hawaii. Hawaii's a fighting state. Have you heard anything about for Max Holloway? I think how frustrating it must be for Max Holloway. When you turn on TV and all you see is Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, which isn't even, it doesn't relate to the UFC really.
Yeah. Damn, it is actually for a title too. For a second, I thought interim, but no, Jose got the title.
2 belt.
Right?
Yeah, Jose has the title.
Yeah.
Max Holloway's the interim title belt holder.
There you go.
So you're unifying the belt. It's pretty cool. Max Holloway gets that belt. He's gonna be tough to beat. Really, really talented kid. Yeah, it's just that whole summit thing, and I'm sure you have some of the events, but you look at it as a bit of a shit show. Unless it was someone new. Like, oh, wow, we get 50% off Reebok? You know, they just have no idea. They just have no clue.
You should just talk about that right now since...
we got this goodie bag. So when you used to go there, back in those summits, you used to go there, you would check in your hotel. It would be at the Red Rock Hotel, the nice hotel that Fertitta's owned. I don't know where they do it now. Probably the same. You know, I'm sure there's still a relationship there. Mm-hmm. And you would check in, they'd have your sizes, and you get the new bag, and you get the new UFC gear, and, you know, and then you get vouchers to eat at the nice restaurants there. But, you know, the UFC bag, it was just UFC shirts. There's no Reebok at the time, so it was UFC shirts, shorts, sweats, and they were trying to do this athletic line at the time, their UFC branded athletic line. And that was really all it was, you know, but... You know, as a professional athlete, you can ask anyone this, and really anyone in the spotlight, anything. Anyone who's Instagram famous is getting free shit left and right. So for an athlete, I mean, you know, I need another T-shirt like I need a goddamn punch in the face from a heavyweight. Like it's just they send you stuff. So when you look, and as an NFL player, even as a collegiate player, we're not paid. You're getting tons of gear. So for this, it's just, you know, they want to look like the part. They want to look like the NFL, look like the NBA, look like the NHL, but they're just not there yet. So you have these huge hiccups. And I blast this on my Instagram. You want to give us this first headline here, Jim?
Yeah, where Kat Zingano took a picture of what the Reebok was giving them at the summit or retreat. And it's a 50% off coupon, one-time only coupon for Reebok. And it's especially for the athletes.
Yep. There's a couple things that stick out here. She's covering that discount code because goddamn she wants that 50% off. Right? Like that's like, when I saw, I'm like, well, just let it go so people use the fuck out of it. Well, they're not going to use it. But, and B, it's kind of like, do you remember back in the day, if a fighter spoke out, it was kind of like the Tito Ortiz syndrome or, you name anyone, the Randy Couture. Oh, they're just bitter because business. You know that they're just the bitter fighter. Everyone else is happy. How many people? If Kat would have done this 4 years ago, goof, you're in trouble, girl. Big trouble. How many? You know, there's been fighter after fighter now speaking out. The Reebok thing, I posted this yesterday and just put laughing memes. Like what can you do? It's almost like they're trolling themselves now. It's almost like the Reebok's like, we realize it's fucked up. Let's toss this in there, give them 50% off. We got to sell something. Hopefully some of them buy it. You know, there's no way in the world. And have you seen any numbers? Have you seen any comments from Reebok? Have you seen anything? When people go silent, that, you know, that's when shit's bad. Because Reebok, they'd be the greatest deal ever. They'd be flaunting. Look at Adidas. Hey, man, we saw Yeezy in this fast. Nike, you see people flexing muscles. Under Armour with The Rock. Fast shoe ever to sell, you know, this year. Look at Rock shoes. They're blasting out. Have you seen one thing by Reebok?
No.
I mean, I guess they could say, hey, record-setting day, we sold 4 Reebok kits today or something like that. But you can create the vision even if it's not there. But when you go silent, they're just like, fuck. And not to blame Reebok, they got in a game they just weren't ready to play. So I don't know whose fault that is. Swiss Beats is the one that connected the UFC and Reebok.
Swiss
Alicia
Beats.
Keys, man. Way to go, Swiss.
He couldn't have
Stay out of
predicted
the
this,
fucking
right?
kitchen if you don't know what's cooking in there. You know what I'm saying? If you make great beats, I like some of his music. You make hot tracks. I don't need you to help me make this goddamn pizza if I'm a 5-star chef in this bitch. Stay out of my goddamn kitchen. Because now you came in the kitchen, you fucked everything up. Now we can't get back to this delicious pizza. That makes sense. But all you can do is laugh. Like, no one. I can get on the horn, and one of the reasons I started the show is give fighters a voice. With Cyborg, I think it helped. Online and the awareness now people have of Cyborg and stuff like that. I genuinely think that helps. With Brian Ortega, I think that helps. There's a lot of people we've had on the show where it gives them a voice. And I really do think it helps. When it comes to Reebok and changes, I don't know, man. There's not the fighters would have to make a stand. Like all these disgruntled fighters need to get together. I know I'm speaking of you and all that stuff. Not even that. Let's say there's no contract involved. They'd have to make a stand just together, unify as one to make a change. And this is I'm sick of myself talking about this. I didn't even want to put that. I had to post that yesterday because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. Usually I don't even address Reebok or anything. I'm just over it. I actually like that they get the backlash from my fans and like they see this stuff. That's hilarious to me. What do you think was going to happen? Like social media is so powerful these days. Like my girl's mom came to my house. She had a pair of Reeboks on. And I swear on my life, I'm over it now, but I was like, I wonder if I should make her take those off. It went through my mind like, should I make her take those off? Or I was like, I'm just gonna go buy her a new pair of shoes. And I was like, that's so fucking petty. Like my life is so great. I'm sure the guys at Reebok are good dudes. They really are, and I'm sure. I don't know. I assume they're good guys, and they thought it'd be a nice business adventure, and they're linking up, and they're with this big brand, and it got to the UFC, and no, they just weren't educated on how the breakdowns did on sponsorships, and now it's too late. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But Kat's tweet is fucking hilarious. And then I'm sure you have, shout out to Kat Zingano. I wonder if her and Cyborg going to fight.
I don't have that. But on this one, how you're saying Reebok not knowing what's going on and stuff. At this retreat, do you know who Cajun Johnson is? He's a UFC fighter, but not really popular. Okay. So
is he Canadian?
Good question. I don't know.
Okay, Karen.
I do think he is Canadian for some reason. He stood up during one of the presentations, the Reebok presentations, because he was hearing the Reebok guy talk about how great it is for the UFC, how great it is for Reebok. So he kind of stood up and said, the fighters are getting torn up from this. He's losing 80% of his sponsorship money, and people were like cheering for him, and they softly escorted him out. They didn't really escort him out, but they softly escorted him out to talk to him.
Oh my God, man.
But apparently after doing that, the Reebok executives contacted him, and they made this impromptu question and answer session with all these different fighters and him, and they started talking about everything that they have issues with as far as fighters are concerned. Oh,
I mean, I think there's another year left on the deal. You don't think it's a little late? You think it's the first time they've heard it? Again, I don't think they're bad guys. You'd think maybe the negativity online, but a lot of times even Kanye gets negative shit online, so maybe it's just online. I don't know. But that was a chance, and fighters, as a fighter, you're a risk taker, man. You are a zebra amongst sheep in general. When it comes to any other athlete, you are such a pioneer, man, and you stand and you fight for everything that you've ever owned. When he stood up and went, "This ain't right," everyone in that room should be so disappointed in themselves. Everyone else should have stood up and fucking applauded and went, "We got some questions." And two big motherfuckers in the heavyweight division, whoever you want, Big Black Beast and Francis Ganahl should have fucking went to the front door and went, "Ain't no one leaving till you guys hear us out." People are jumping in line though. People want to be bitches. Dude, you guys are some of the baddest fighters on the earth, but you're not doing shit. You're getting back in line. So you're constantly going to get this. You're constantly going to get this. They're not going to do shit. It's like wrangling cats. They can't get unified together. Who's going to do shit to us? Nothing. Let's just keep treating them like shit. That's what you get.
I think Leslie Smith also, you know how Kobe Bryant was there?
Kobe Bryant
was like presenting. I don't know what he was speaking about, but then Leslie Smith, she's big on trying to start a union.
Yeah.
She started asking Kobe, hey, what do you think was a really, important part of the NBA becoming as big as it is, and all the all the players, being happy and everything. And she's like, it's about the union, right? And then Kobe's like, absolutely. That was like a huge reason why, everything worked out really well for the NBA.
And what'd the crowd do?
They cheered and they said, go Leslie. And I think that was
done.
That was
so you have Leslie. I love Leslie. Good, bless your heart for sticking up, and that's what we need. So you got Leslie spoke up. Who's this other cat?
Cajun Johnson. Two guys, yeah.
Where's the heaters at, man?
Yeah.
I don't get it. What are you scared of? Dana can't discipline. It's not the mafia anymore. It's not the good old boys club anymore. It's full corporate now. Now's the time, man. What's this?
Oh, this is a picture that I think Megan Anderson is the one that took it. It's just her and Cyborg squaring off. They're tagging Sean Shelby and
damn, Megan Anderson ain't. I mean, she's not small. They want the
fight. She's tall, man.
Yeah, that's a great fight, man. I don't get why they wouldn't do it. Have we heard anything on it?
Nope. And then you said you heard something about Kat Zingano, right? I know Kat Zingano wanted to fight Cyborg, but I don't think.
Well, Dana made the statement.
Did he?
Yeah, at the Dallas post fight. They asked Cyborg to come in. She goes, I don't have an opponent. And he goes, all right, fine, don't come. And then this is according to Cyborg.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And she goes, and after that, go, yeah, we want you to fight Kat Zingano. And that he made some sort of announcement, I guess, according to Cyborg. I haven't seen anything on it, but that's where the rumors came.
I know Kat mentions she's down to do a tournament style thing to get a shot with Cyborg.
Yeah, she's saying her versus some girl, and then Megan versus Cyborg,
or something like that.
Hopefully they announce it soon because you got to promote that fight. Yeah. What else you got, brother?
All right, so Al Iaquinta was on MMA Hour again, and there's just so much to digest here because he's talked about a bunch of stuff that he was not happy with. But in this article, he basically says he compares the UFC to a strip club in a sense that, when you go to a strip club, he's just minding his own business, but then they're trying to like get him to do stuff, but it never, like, let's just say what it is. Like you want to have sex with the girl, right? And you get so close to it, but you're not going to have sex.
Yeah.
So he says the UFC is just like that. Like, don't keep
the big cock
getting me near what I want. And then, like a cock tease, and then not fucking me. Or not letting me fuck you.
That's funny. Yeah. Al, he's doing right, man, by doing all this. And like if you watch that press conference with that big world press conference, like you can just tell everyone's trying to mimic Conor McGregor's blueprint, and it just doesn't seem natural. Seems gimmicky. I thought I didn't think it looked good, that entire press conference. I mean, Kevin Lee and Chizo was kind of fun because that was more real. But other than that. I thought it was a bad look. Everyone's just trying to be Conor McGregor, and it's not natural. But with Al, like it's not a Conor McGregor thing. Like he's not hyping the fight. He's like, "Fuck you, man!" Like it's this New Jersey attitude, which I dig. My issue is, again, Young Lion, if you're gonna speak up and you stand out, you gotta stick by it. I don't want to see you in Dallas at the front, cage side, being all buddy with everyone. Or you're saying you're texting Dana, it's all good, we're friends. Because then this is all fake. So this is your thing, or is it real?
That's the weird thing about this too, because he was saying that what he did, in the beginning when he was like, mouthing off to all this stuff to the UFC, to Dana White, it got them to talk to him, but not in the way that he wanted. So they'll say, hey, everything's good, everything's fine. So Dana even went back and forth with him on Twitter or messaging saying like, no, we're good, we're all good. But Al's like, no, I don't. That's not what I wanted. I wanted us to fix this whole thing that we're going through with my money, with everything. I don't want you to just tell me that I'm good. And he feels as though when he went to this retreat they all kind of like were taking him in and being cool to him, but they didn't solve any issues that he had with them at all.
No, it's usually, yeah, there's, again, his reference to the strip club is right. It's like, my bad, here, let this girl rub her tits in your face. You forget all about it. We're going to be cool, man.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
And it's like, what the I guess, but then I still didn't get my rocks off, man. Like, you guys keep doing this. He's doing the right thing by constantly speaking out. It just has to be from a place of realness. You can't be buddy and texting, and taking pictures of Sean Shelby and stuff like that. This is fucking hilarious. But another thing that upset him was Snoop Dogg concert that was scheduled to cap the weekend and Retreat Sunday night. Rather than paying Snoop Dogg for a concert, Iaquinta would have preferred the UFC gave the money to the fighters. Fucking pay me, Iaquinta said. I don't give a fuck about Snoop Dogg. Pay me. I'm hurt. I'm tired. Fuck you. Fuck you. How about that? It's hilarious. Yeah, he's looking for a new contract, right?
Pretty sure that's what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Something that he believes is fair, which he's not getting out. And he does press the point that he doesn't need the UFC. He's pushing that angle a lot. Like, I'm fine, I'm good, but he's being really angry about what he has right now. So he says he's willing to leave it. And a few times he's like, I'm done. But then you can kind of tell like he does.
Well, he loves
the
thing is he loves to fight, and if he does say I'm done, you're just not gonna. Everyone's like, oh, I couldn't just go to Belfort. It doesn't work like that, guys. You know this long enough. They'll time up and all this red tape, and he won't fight forever. So if you actually love to fight, you got to play a little ball. But it's very interesting because back in the day they wouldn't even entertain these ideas. They just silently punish you. Next thing you know, Al's on the undercard of some fight in Dubai or some shit like that. That's how they would discipline these guys. But now there's been such an outcry from Luke Rockhold, Al, a bunch of different people, Cyborg. And they still haven't really addressed Cyborg, not that I know of, but with Al and Luke, I mean, Dana went straight on Twitter to attack Luke, to address it. It's a weird time, man. It's a super weird time. The times have definitely changed. What else you got, brother?
All right. This is also about the retreat. Cyborg posted on her Instagram this little pamphlet, this UFC pamphlet that they give, that shows all the fighters in it. And if you were to look at this for the listeners, she's opening a page of the pamphlet. You see a bunch of fighters, their stats and everything else. And then a quote by Dominic Cruz, be somebody that makes you happy. And she keeps turning the page.
Be someone that makes you happy.
She keeps turning the page and she gets on this page where there's a figure missing and it's her picture.
What the
So her
fuck?
name's there. Everything's there except for her picture. And it looks
What?
completely out of place. It's really, really weird.
What is going on?
And then, she posts, I did 1.3 million views. And then she tags Dana White and UFC during my last fight on FS1. 10 months later, I still don't have an opponent announced for 214. And the company can't seem to find my photo for promotion. Sean Shelby, let me know if you need me to email you some high-resolution photos of myself.
And they don't even address her or not.
I didn't hear anything.
They won't even
address her.
entertain the idea. I don't know, they just do her dirt. I feel so bad for her, man. So bad for her. It's just so unprofessional. Oh, there's sound to this?
No, just setting up for later.
Oh, word.
But, yeah, I mean, that can't be a real... Is that a purposely done thing, you think?
It
doesn't seem like it could be a mistake.
They've known this
right?
retreat forever, right? And she's been part of the UFC for a little bit now, including the Invicta fights.
The picture thing is a weird thing.
She's
Her
one of
name's
your
there.
she's one of your champs, basically. She's Invicta champ, gave it up. You made a division for her. I find that hard to believe. I don't know. I don't know, man. You can see the real frustration from everyone.
I mean, if she wasn't there at all, it would make sense to me. But the fact that her name, everything's there, just her picture's not there, it seems like it's something they're doing.
Intentionally?
Yeah. But I don't know enough about how they do these things.
I don't know who's doing it. My issue is whoever's running the social media and a lot of this stuff for them is just, I think they're just trying to find their footing. They're trying to figure it out, and this is obviously a huge mistake. It looks like it was done on purpose because all the the history of Cyborg and how they keep kind of screwing her over. Mm-hmm. So it kind of in a weird conspiracy way it looks like that, but I doubt it. To be honest, I doubt it. Because they're not selling these. It was just for the fighters. Maybe they didn't have a current picture. The only picture they had was her in Invicta or Strikeforce, something like that. They could for sure figure it out.
To that question, if she did fight in the UFC, I think once or twice, actual UFC.
Twice,
yeah. When before the fights, don't they take pictures of you with the gloves on or after the fight?
Yeah, the week of the fight. Yeah.
So no matter what, they have.
Yeah, they have them.
Okay, so that's really.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know, man. I like to think they were just like, we don't have a high res. We don't want to leave her out. So put that in. Super skeptical Eddie Bravo eyes. They're probably fucking her, like screwing her over, not posting it. Why? I have no idea. She's gonna take it on some poor soul in Anaheim. You guys asked for it. Cyborg might kill a bitch. You know how hard she hits.
Let's jump on that.
How about that segue?
All right. Okay, so as we've already talked about, she did allegedly punch Angela Magana.
No, I saw the video.
I couldn't see because someone's in the back, and then I didn't see the actual punch.
Oh man,
land.
definitely punched her.
Well, I'm pretty sure she did too, but I didn't see it with my bare eyes. But,
true.
So she was cited by the police department. So this is
Who called the
really
cops?
legit. So Magana said that the UFC called the cops, which I kind of don't really believe.
I don't buy that.
I don't believe either.
Why would the UFC want this
Exactly
negative publicity? If, again, skeptical Eddie Bravo eyes here, they're just trying to tarnish Cyborg's name.
Oh, crap.
Still.
It gets a little crazier then.
I know.
So, dude, there's a chance the UFC did call the cops. Anyways, so she did get cited for misdemeanor battery. And that means she'll probably have to go in front of court if the district attorney for Las Vegas here, this area, they want to press charges or not.
Oh, my God.
So this is looking pretty bad.
But the only way they can press charges is if the young lady presses charges that did it, right? I don't think the city can, correct?
I don't know how this works, but...
I think if Angela Magna says, nah, I'm good, I'm not pressing charges, then I don't think they do.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that too.
But, like I said on the Firing Kid yesterday, for Angela Magna to press charges or come after Cyborg in any facet would be career suicide. You're a fighter and you post some horrible meme making fun of Cyborg, then she confronts you face to face like a fighter should, and you get socked in the face because you're talking shit, and you're gonna sue her? Oh my God.
It does look super bad, yeah.
You're done. You will never gain anyone's support ever again. And I like the girl. She might be the hottest UFC fighter I've ever seen. She's ridiculously good looking. Doesn't matter in this situation. I mean, you end up talking about shit about women's Mount Rushmore. Even Mount Rushmore in general, Cyborg's on it. Is one of the greatest female fighters, if not the greatest female fighter of all time. So she makes Mount Rushmore. Obviously Angela Magnina doesn't. And so you're going to talk all this shit and then you run into the pound for pound toughest female fighter on the planet. She socks you in the face. What do you think was going to happen, man? You're going to sue her? God, talk about a fucking marketing lesson 101 on how to ruin your career.
I do think some fighters also took that same point of view too. Like, if you're going to talk that smack, expect to pay the consequences.
Any fighter would.
It's not
any fighter who's defending Angela ain't a real fighter. I mean, fuck who's supporting her.
No matter what, you should, obviously hitting someone is not. You shouldn't do that. But I mean, you should
You're
expect
two professional
to be
fighters.
Hit. Yeah, you should expect to be hit if you're going to be doing this stuff. Yeah.
Hell yes. It's crazy, man. But for Cyborg, just another obstacle. And that girl does not need any more obstacles. If you heard her on, was it last week's Big Brown Breakdown?
I think it was.
You're on last week's show. Yeah, my heart goes out to her. She's, obviously, she's the artist of her own, work here, punching this girl in the face, and now she's getting charges. You can say don't punch a girl in the face, but it's just, god damn. And now this gives UFC a reason, like, well, can't have you fight now. You got these pending charges. Feel bad for her, man.
So she released a statement and it's really too long to go through the entire thing.
God damn, she wrote a novel.
She did. And she's releasing a statement about what happened, but she doesn't really mention Magana at all. So she's kind of saying in a nutshell that all of this stems from the higher ups. She mentioned how Dana White had made fun of her before a long time ago, saying that she looked like Vanderlei Silva in a dress. Mm-hmm. She also kind of goes into the Rogan comment, and not the Rogan comment, or maybe a little bit of the Rogan comment, but also the Tony Hinchcliffe. Yeah, she goes into that one. And she's saying that since the higher ups are not saying anything bad about these guys for saying these things, not reprimanding them, that it gives other people permission, like her fellow coworkers or whatever else. And this is her company that she's working for. The mob
mentality? Yeah, that's fair.
And then she says that, yeah, this is kind of how it escalated and how it got to this point where perhaps where Magana felt like she can do this like and not feel.
Like it was a safe place to have open market on Cyborg.
Exactly.
That's true. That's fair. I see your point of view. I mean, obviously you can't punch another person if it's not a sanctioned fight, so that's kind of frowned upon. All this stems from her frustration at the top. Yeah. And, and it basically, Angela Magna represents that. So that's she reaped the kind of the outcome of this, that Cyborg is so frustrated. She's not gonna be able to slap Dana White. She's not gonna be able to punch Ari Emanuel. She's not gonna be able to punch the guys at Reebok. She's not gonna be able to slap Joe Rogan. She might be able to slap Tony Hinchcliffe. She came to the Comedy Store, but so this Angela Magna girl, she was the one that she could actually do it to and kind of not get as disciplined, I guess.
Well, she feels like Magana probably felt like it's okay because everyone else higher up than her is doing the same thing, talking smack on her, making fun of her.
It's very strange because this is, it's obviously a form of social media bullying.
Cyberbullying, yeah.
It's cyberbullying. However, you're bullying cyberly the toughest woman on the planet. So when you run into her and she sticks up for herself, this is how the pound for pound toughest girl on the planet is going to respond and stick up for herself to make sure this doesn't happen again. Because I guarantee you, I would assume this Magna girl doesn't talk shit to her again on social media or obviously in person. She got punched in the face. And I highly doubt you see any other girls doing this now. They're like, oh my God.
It gets real.
Damn, oh shit. I get punched in the face when I see Cyborg in person. Yeah, man. This is her way to make sure the bullying stops. If my son was getting bullied in school, I'm not going to say, go tell the higher ups, make sure he gets out. I'm going to say, listen, you might get suspended. That's cool. I'll take Disneyland. We'll figure it out. Next time that kid bullies you, you sock him in the face as hard as you can. That's how I deal with it. That's the only way you can get bullies to stop. That's what Cyborg did. Punched the bully in the face. She was getting cyber bullied, and everyone on this gang mentality. And Rogan and Tony Hinchcliffe are no, angels here. They took part of it, and Dana White, the owner of the company, took part of it on this flight back from. And then some fighters like, oh, cool, free market on Cyborg. Well, that's fine. Happens to be Cyborg, though, so when you run into her, she can have words with you. You get what you deserve. I don't have a problem with it. I know people, it's barbaric. Is it? Or we live in a pussified, nation now. This is exactly, there's consequences to you acting like an asshole. For Angela, you want to act like an asshole on social media? Okay. When you run into that person you're trying to bully, she's going to sock you in the mouth. I guarantee she doesn't do this again. Or if she does, she knows there's repercussions now. Yeah. Go ahead and post again about her. And then when she sees you next time, you're not having a bigger issue. Or girls that are like, oh man, I guess I can get a little fame, or maybe this outlet will pick it up if I go at Cyborg. That's fine. Do that. Just know when you run to Cyborg, you're probably going to get punched in the face. I bet you don't see too many more about Cyborg.
What you were saying, a good way to look at this is like if you have a kid, like say you have kids, and then this happens to them, they're getting bullied online, would you suggest they go to the authorities or stand up for yourself? And if you see them in person,
what's authorities
defend yourself?
What are authorities going to do? Nothing. How many times Cyborg did go to authorities? She came to media outlets. She tried organizing meetings with Dana White, Ari Emanuel, all these guys, and it was deaf ears. Nah, you'll figure it out. She figured it out. She had to take care of herself. Punched her square in the mouth. I don't have a problem with it, man. I know some people would be upset, like, that's not the way to raise people. I guess.
No, but I'm saying to those people that are saying that, imagine that this is their kid. How would you want your kid to deal with it?
Cyberbullying's real, man. It's almost worse than physical. I guarantee you Cyborg would trade places any day with Angela Magna because social media bullying, where she's waking up every day, it's you'd make weight if your dick was cut off. You look one really silver on a dress. You look like a man. This every day, relentless every day. It is way worse than the physical pain of getting punched once in the face. I guarantee you Cyborg would trade places with her in a heartbeat. In a fucking heartbeat.
And that picture that she used, it was when Cyborg was visiting children with cancer in a hospital in Brazil.
God,
how the picture to use was that one.
And I don't know what she gets out of it. Yeah. Besides a knuckle sandwich of the motherfucking grill. That's what you got out of it. Holler at me, though, girl. I meant it. Holler at me.
Here's another thing I want to ask you.
I'll be your bodyguard. I'll be your bodyguard. However, if Cyborg comes, I'm her friend now. So,
do you really think she's that hot? For a fighter, maybe?
It's like finishing first place in the Special Olympics. Is the fastest kid on the planet? Probably not. Still fast. It's like, when I was in the UFC, God, he's a good looking guy. For a UFC fighter, sure. They put me next to a legit, like, looking dude. I look like a turd with eyes. Like, is she hot? Like, name some of the hottest girls in the UFC. Are they hot? For fighters, put them next to an actual smoke show.
It gets a little different.
What? The fuck?
See, so the whole Tony Hinchcliffe thing, right? This is what I'm struggling with a lot too, because when he said that, I didn't, I never met Cyborg prior to that, right? I met her afterwards or whatever.
You met her the first time you met her was here, okay?
Here. But when I heard it, I'm gonna be honest, right? It sounded like a funny comment that a comedian's making, right?
See, but Tony gets up. Got to be careful with this because it's what Dana, Joe, and Tony did isn't right because they were with the president of the company who represents the company.
That makes perfect sense, yeah.
If it was just Joe and Tony, or if it was Tony having them on his podcast, it's okay because Tony is a roast master.
Yeah,
he's a genius. That's literally what he does. Yeah. So all those roasts on Comedy Central of Snoop Dogg, Trump, Tony writes 99% of the jokes you hear. That's literally what he does. He's one of the most brilliant comics in the world. So I give him a little bit of a pass. Was it right? No. Was it fucked up? Yes. Was it funny? All right. He had a funnier one if you look at his tweets when they're going back and forth. It was hilarious. But nonetheless, it ain't right, But remember, right, yeah. Joe's first job isn't a UFC commentator. Joe didn't ask to be the face of the UFC. Joe's very first job and what he's known for is a comedian. Joe is a comedian. Tony Hinchcliffe's a comedian.
Exactly.
So there's three guys there. There's a comedian. One's basically subcontract by the UFC, Joe. And then you got Dana White, who's the owner of the company. Her gun should be pointed at Dana, not the two comedians.
Yeah.
But if you can, I see how you can point it at Joe and Dana. Tony, obviously, it's fucked up. It's dark shit. It's super dark. And after having Cyborg here, I'm like, oh my God.
I know. It's especially after meeting
obviously, Tony and Joe are my boys, so I'm trying to balance it here.
Anyways,
yeah,
it's a weird one, but
what else you got? Hey, but also, of course, she got punched in the face. But of course, talking about Cyborg doing Cyborg. You talking about a fighter doing some fighter shit when she's getting bullied, punch another girl in the face? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no shit. What else you got?
Okay, this one, TJ Dillashaw says that the UFC, or actually Dana White, approved a backup plan of him fighting DJ Mighty Mouse.
What's that mean?
If the Garbrandt fight doesn't go through.
Garbrandt ain't happening. He just pulled out.
So literally pull out?
I'm almost positive Garbrandt pulled out.
So he's pretty much, everyone pretty much guesses he is. Even TJ's like, he's 99% sure Garbrandt's not going to make this fight. So anyways, he was saying that Dana White told him that he's excited for the Demetrius Johnson fight at 125. But one snag is that I think DJ even said somewhere that he didn't really want the fight.
Yeah, I heard Dana likes it. Mm-hmm. And then so TJ loves it.
Yeah.
But then DJ is like, he kind of shit on it, right?
He said something that he just said he's like, it wasn't a good fight for him right now, or doesn't want to do it right now.
See, and TJ says this. Dana was really excited about that. I don't know if DJ wants to turn down the fight or what. I don't really know how that works. I've never turned down a fight from the UFC before. I don't know if you're really allowed to, but Dana was very excited about it. Well, when you're DJ and you're about to break Anderson Silva's record for the all-time greatest defending champion, you can turn down fights. And when you're champion, you can do whatever you want, to a certain extent.
I do remember
if you're in a certain weight class, and you have an Irish accent, and you're from Ireland, and you hold the belt at 45, 55, and you're going to fight Floyd Mayweather, then you can do whatever you want. But no, DJ should have a little pull here.
DJ said he wanted to fight TJ a while ago. I think I remember that correctly, a while ago. Like he wanted to test himself in other divisions, like go up and fight TJ. But this might have been when TJ had the belt.
I'm sure it's when TJ had a belt. For DJ, I love the fight. But TJ not having the belt, and you have a guy who's the most dominant champion of all time, fighting a guy without the belt, it's a tough sell, isn't it?
It had to be when he had the belt.
It's a little bit of a tough sell.
Yeah.
And I want it to happen for TJ. But also, for DJ, it's also the best thing because he is not a draw man. He has to start doing these super fights. More people know who TJ and Cody are than DJ, unfortunately. So for DJ, for his next career move to, move into numero uno on pound for pound everyone's list, he has to start taking these super fights. The only issue with this one is TJ's not a belt holder.
Yeah.
That's the only hiccup here. Other than that, I fucking love it. You tell me you wouldn't rather watch Demetrius Johnson versus TJ rather than Demetrius Johnson versus Ray Borg?
100%.
But the only asterisk next to that Ray Borg fight is he would break Anderson Silva's record. DJ's a tough matchup for DJ. TJ.
Actually, so if he did beat, I'm guessing he'll likely beat Ray Borg. So if DJ beat Ray Borg, gets that record, beats Anderson Silva's record, and then say TJ Waits fights Cody,
gets the belt,
then
that'd make more sense.
Blow up, right?
For DJ, this right now doesn't make sense. Other than it makes him more mainstream. But other than that, he's risking a lot. He's fighting a bigger guy. It's a very tough matchup stylistically for him. I don't know if DJ would be the favorite here. Even it's a tough fight for him. Very tough. It says, I see right there our boy Brett Okamoto says UFC's Mighty Mouse goes no hold bars on CM Punk and Mayweather. Did you click on that? I saw him go a little nuts on Ronda. He had a good. I see it down. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one down. See up. Yep.
There you go.
See, I think he's obsessed with breaking the record.
Mm-hmm.
So Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson tied the most produced records in combat sports. Anderson Silva 10. Okay. An interview with ESPN's Brett Okamoto. If things continue to go the way they have, how many defenses will you end up with? I hope I can get to 20. All right, well, there's your answer. I don't think he's interested in super fights. 20? So you fight 4 more years, basically? 3 more years? I'm on pace to get 2 or 3 fights per year. I think I've gotten 5 or 6 left in me. Maybe I'll get to something like 18, walk away from the sport, retire as champion. I think 15, 18 titles is something that would be in the record books forever. He's correct. I do feel that fans may it goes back and forth. MMA has the rudest, most negative, dumbest, ignorant fans in the world. Kind of agree with him on that. But also has the most passionate. Agree with him on that. I hear that I should move up the weight all the time. I was at the gym the other day and some guy was like, man, you need to fight Conor McGregor. I've been getting that for years and I'm over it. I want to focus on my division and just smash the record, just destroy it. Well, there's your answer.
There is.
What do you think this fixation move up? I think a lot of people don't like to see someone succeed. Ooh, I think he's wrong on that. They want to see someone go through adversity, but what those people don't understand is that I've been through adversity. I have been in trouble during a fight and pushed through, yes. I guess people want to see the more conflict. You're getting concussed, more fighting a bigger man. There are dangers that come with a bigger body. It's true. I have no problem going up, but if I'm going to possibly take years off my life career, I need to be well compensated. Well, that's why you there's no other sport in the world where you can be the best at it but not get paid the best. I never wanted to say this before, but I don't care anymore. It's just facts. See how more guys are speaking out?
Yeah,
you never see this 4 years ago. When former WWE star CM Punk, Phil Brooks, signed with the UFC, he asked me how I felt about it, and I said, CM Punk will probably make more money than I do in his very first fight, and he did. I think his payout was $500K. I have nothing against CM Punk, but if you look at the sheer nonsense, that doesn't make sense. I know you have to look at the business standpoint that he's going to sell out tickets, but he can't fight. That's why I never said the UFC should try to sign that cash me outside girl, because she's all talk and probably outsell everybody. Ugh.
Oh, this is the one where he made the comment about Ronda Rousey. I think this is the one.
I don't want to say there. Let's see. Like you say, there's a market for that. Do you blame fans or promoters or for the media covering, like CM Punk fiasco? He says, I don't want to say there's blame on anyone, but it's a combination of everything. At one point, the media was saying that Ronda Rousey was the greatest fighter of all time. She could beat Floyd Mayweather. And I was like, are you kidding me? She never threw a single kick. And the public and media were saying she's the greatest mixed martial artist ever, and I'm not taking anything away from Ronda. She's a great athlete and did very well, but she had one move, and the media said she was the best fighter in the world. The UFC got behind her, pushed her brand. I've never been on Conan O'Brien or Jimmy Fallon. I do think the UFC can make someone a star if they really want to. If they look the part, they can. How much money should a dominant flyweight champion get? Any UFC champion should clear $1 million per year. I would say $1 million per fight. So I say I fight twice a year, and my paycheck for each is $400K. The UFC send me a bonus at the end of the year to get me to $1 million for being champion. I know why the UFC runs business the way they do. I know why Conor McGregor makes base pay of $3 million. I mean, listen, it's an interesting article.
But it does answer that question then.
Yeah, he's not interested in what everyone else is interested in. It's also what makes him kind of great, isn't it? He's not interested in these super fights. He's not, and he won me over with the argument that, fighting bigger bodies means more damage to my brain. Mm-hmm. So I need to be compensated for that because I will take some damage that I normally wouldn't at fighting at 125 pounds. I get no argument there. When I say this stuff, I say, oh, he should do a super fight here. You want to get more famous? Maybe he doesn't want to get more famous. Maybe he just wants to be the greatest of all time according to the hardcore fans and having the record for most defended titles. Maybe he doesn't want what we want for him. He has a different vision. I'm not going to hate on that. I respect everything he said in that article. What else you got, brother?
All right. Next one is Vitor Belfort. He says, well, his next fight is supposed to be his last fight with the UFC.
Against Nate Marquardt.
Mm-hmm. And then he says after that, he actually wants to continue on fighting. He doesn't want to actually retire.
Dog. I wish I loved anything in the world as much as Vitor Belfort loves fighting.
Yeah.
Where's he going to fight? Ryzen?
He doesn't say, but that would probably be it, right? Ryzen or...
He says, I will leave the UFC, but I'll continue competing. Fight is my passion. It'd be fighting is my passion, but fight is my passion. Too bad that MMA hasn't become a serious sport yet. Maybe I'll change this scenario. Huh?
Yeah, dude, the comments on this are crazy too. Like, by what? Taking more steroids or something?
Today, a fighter's more artist than an athlete. The UFC is a show, not a sport. It's sad to see new fighters wanting to drive the card of the moment or be in the spotlight like Conor McGregor. The reference is to have, not to be. I see what he's saying. It's more of a spectacle. Back in the day, it was just about skills and who was just the most skilled and best fighter. And now it's more of like a WWE feel. That's also what made the UFC a little bigger. It's crazy right now. It's a bit of a shit show. I agree with him there. And everyone wants to beat Conor McGregor, but there's only one Conor. As far as Vitor still fighting, listen, if he goes to Ryzen and is allowed to get juice to the gills, I'm all for. I will watch that shit. I really will. Mm-hmm. Who wouldn't?
I know.
He'd probably be champ at 85 if he could take all the drugs he wanted to. Who would beat him? One of the most scared. The Phenom, when John Jones beat a jacked Vitor Belfort, You know, when he fucking wheel kicked Luke Rockhold in the face when he's all jacked to the gills, you're talking about one of the best 185ers of all time. Scary dude. Him and Overeem. PD, it's a Wild Wild West again, god damn. Both those two would be champ right now. He's only probably doing that in Ryzen. What else you got, man?
All right. This is going back real quick to the retreat. A few fighters were saying that a representative from the Budweiser company, Anheuser-Busch, was speaking and he was plastered. And he was speaking about image too. But since you can't bring phones and videotape and stuff like that, they don't have the footage, but you can see these fighters like saying, hey, and Jessica Pena says, hey, Anheuser-Busch, maybe next time you send a rep to talk about image, make sure they don't show up drunk on your product.
Yikes.
And
Angel Hill posted a picture.
Yeah. That's him with a beer in his hand.
Ugh.
But I mean, if he's representing Budweiser, I kind of get him having a beer, but not being drunk.
No, it's fucking silly. I get the beer.
Yeah, and then
be yourself, be Conor McGregor, Bud Light guy. Then Sterling said, the most unmotivating speech ever. While looking like he might have been slammed a few drinks, we all pretty much said, screw this guy. Oh.
Yeah, so that just adds to that whole...
Damn, homeboy said, be Conor McGregor, we want winners. Oh.
Gross, yeah.
Yikes. We're always told to represent ourselves the correct way while we listen to a drunk dude at 9:30 a.m. saying, be Conor McGregor, we want winners. Oh.
Oh, he's that kind of personality. He goes, who the hell would want Anheuser-Busch to sponsor them with a drunk douche talking about them like he's God's gift? The shittiest speaker ever.
Oh. God.
Anyhow.
Move on.
All right, the next one is an update on Khabib. So Khabib says he's healing from his injuries and he would like to be back by October.
October, God, I'd love to see him and Tony fight.
Yeah, he wants the Tony fight too.
Still love to
for
see
the
it.
interim title.
Man, I'd love to see that. I would love to see that. Supposed to have Tony on the show soon. We're just trying to connect, get him on here.
Sweet.
Yeah, it'd be a good one. We're supposed to have Max Holloway today, but our schedule's conflicted. I was at the fucking government building forever, and then he's flying doing press for his Brazil thing, and then I think he was flying out, so it was a mess. But wanted him on because he has a lot of things to say. But wish him the best out there in Brazil.
Sweet.
Man, I hope Khabib gets healthy. I love seeing him fight. Hopefully, he gets the right nutritionist. Everything gets back on track. Him versus Tony. God, I can't remember last time I was so disappointed in a fight not happening.
Mm-hmm. So he would train somewhere in the middle of June and then return by October. Is that enough time?
Because I need 4 months. Yeah, it's enough time.
I mean, coming off of a almost deathly weight
he should
cut.
be all right. He said, I think that 90% I will fight for the interim title. I don't know, my man. I hope it happens for him, though. You know, you want that guy competing at 155 pounds. He's one of the best. What else you got, Doug?
Next one. Dana White was on a Canadian television network, and he said that GSP is going to fight for the welterweight title when he comes back. No longer the 185.
It makes sense. I mean, that whole 85 fiasco was obviously a shit show, and it's not working out. And him fighting at 70 is it makes more sense. It's so weird because think if he won at 85, what are you gonna give him? Yoel next? It makes no sense. And then he goes back to 70. Then you have this weird kind of, weird cue at the 85 pound now, and this vacated belt. You have Conor doing this thing at 45 and 55. Like, there's just a bunch of shit going on in the division, so it ties up a lot of stuff. Him at 70 makes 100% more sense than anything they've done. So they're trying to put Bisping and Romero together. If Bisping can't fight this summer, then we'll probably create an interim title between Romero and Robert Whittaker. I would love that.
Yeah, that one.
I think Robert Whittaker's the best 185 on the planet right now. I think he beats. I really do think Robert beats Romero, and I think he's the worst matchup for anyone in the top 4 with his hand speed and his takedown defense. So I'm on this Whittaker train like a motherfucker. Shout out to my Aussies.
Real quick. Who do you think's a tougher competition for Whittaker, Romero or Luke Rockhold?
Rockhold. Better striker, long, big, had some rest, has a chip on his shoulder. Rockhold's going to be a tough one for anyone in there coming back if he has his head on right. And with George St. Pierre, I love people like, oh, he's scared or he wanted to wait this. It's medicals. Trust me when I tell you this. Medicals are his holdup.
George St. Pierre. Wait, so let me show you this. Tyron said that GSP is cowardly for wanting to fight Bisping and not go straight for the 170 belt, which is Tyron's.
I don't think it's cowardly. I think, he hasn't fought in 4 years. It's George St. Pierre. What are you doing? This stuff makes me laugh. Mm-hmm. He's not scared of Woodley. I love Woodley, but George ain't scared of Woodley. It's not a cowardly move. At 85, he hasn't fought in 4 years. I'm sure he's a little bigger now. He don't want to slam his weight to 170, his first fight back. His medicals, there might have been a hiccup here or there with his medicals. So now, it's going to take a little longer. So now the UFC's like, listen, you have more time. Let's just do it at 70 like we originally planned. We know you wanted 85. That's not going to happen. He's not ducking anyone. Matter of fact, Woodley is an easier fight than Bisping for him. Way easier. Name something that Woodley's better at.
Than Bisping.
In the octagon. Name one thing Woodley does better than him.
Than Bisping.
No, than GSP.
Knockout power.
I agree. He's a better overhand. He has more punching power. Let's just go through it. Does he have better wrestling in the octagon? Nope. Just doesn't. Does he have better striking? Nope. He's very one-dimensional. He has knockout, but no kicks. Has knockout power. His kicks aren't world-class. Jiu-jitsu? Mm-mm. Cardio? Mm-mm. Resume? Mm-mm.
So
footwork?
It's just the...
Mm-mm. He just has that. It's the Johnny Hendricks thing. He has that huge KO power. If it lands, yeah, GSP's night's over. What's Bisping have? He has footwork, takedown defense. He's not going to try grappling with him. Probably if there's one guy on the roster with better cardio than GSP, it's Bisping. He's a way bigger fighter. He's taller. He doesn't want to engage in a grappling match. No one's scared of anyone.
Yeah,
this is always weird. I guess it's good for the media and stuff like that. No one's scared of anyone. Bisping's a tough fucking matchup for George, man. Big guy, counter wrestler, great boxing, bigger, longer, stronger probably, a natural 185er. It's a tough fucking fight for GSP. I really don't know if George wins that fight. I don't think he does.
Jeez.
But then you have GSP Woodley. You look at that fight. I think, all right, if GSP can avoid that huge one-punch power that he has, drag him in later rounds, he's probably going to take Woodley down. Koscheck is one of the best wrestlers that ever graced the octagon. He dismantled him wrestling. The big X factor here, and I'm not hating on Woodley. I love Woodley. I'm a Woodley fan, man. I'm just talking skill for skill right now, not person to person. The one thing that Woodley or anyone banking on fighting GSP is that ring rust, that 4 fucking year ring rust. It's also a different game now. So Woodley says, he goes, if Wonder Boy would have won, I guarantee that would be his first fight back would be against Thompson, a similar karate style fighter. Not really. They've seen probably a million times. He's trained with him. He doesn't have one punch KO power. Wonder Boy doesn't? He has more knockouts than you, son. What you talking about? He's not going to submit him. He's not going to stop his shot. Yeah. It's a safer fight for Big Teddy. I don't think it's about safer. I really don't. I think it's his medicals, and I think that the timing, and if he wanted the safer fight, it would be Woodley. The big payday would be Bisping. So maybe he's going for the tougher big payday. So he just has it conflicting a little bit. What else you got, bro? Let's do one more.
When you said the size thing, have you seen, I'm sure you've seen this, Tyron Woodley next to Damian Maia?
No.
I didn't realize he's that much bigger.
Damian Maia?
Yeah.
He's huge.
Dude, way huger than
Way bigger.
Way bigger. It looked like two different human beings. It's
one guy used to be a natural 185er, you know? He's way taller, right? Like Willie's a
way
short
taller.
dude.
Yeah. But way taller. He seems pretty wide too and everything.
Yeah,
so I don't know how that would...
Maia's a big boy. That's why I liked one of the reasons I liked Maia in that Jorge Masvidal fight, which was insanely tough to pick. But him being a natural 85er, you know, he tossed around Chael Sonnen. When we're talking PD, Lance Armstrong, Chael Sonnen, he fucking flipped him on his head, inverted triangle him from mount. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be a strong grappler. That's his strength. And also, he's not wasting any energy striking. He's just trying to grapple. God, this is going to be tough to beat.
Masvidal even said, like, the only one thing that he was really surprised by was Damian's strength. He had no idea he was that strong.
Yeah, he's a big kid, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why at 70, he's a handful for anyone.
All right, you said one more?
Yeah.
How about this one? This is your hood, right?
This
Colorado
team, yeah.
So Elevation Fight Team is leaving Muscle Farm.
To say why?
It's going to a place called Easton Training Center. That's what Elliot Marshall said.
Yeah. So Elliot Marshall, my old teammate, and I think he's the head coach now over there. Elliot fought in the UFC, if you guys aren't familiar with it. He runs Easton Training Center in Denver. Amal Easton that's where the name Easton Training Center comes from. Amal runs Boulder Jiu-Jitsu, Easton Jiu-Jitsu, in obviously Boulder, Colorado. But that, you know, it's black belt Amal who got his black belt from Henzo, and Amal's top 5 jiu-jitsu coaches in the nation. I mean, he's amazing. And so the partnership Elevation has had with Muscle Farm over the last 4 years has been awesome, and it's something we all appreciate greatly. That being said, time to move on to more of a traditional setting is now. This is good for, well, it depends, like who's all going with them. So
Their names in here.
is TJ going with them?
Yeah. TJ, Matt Brown, Neil Magny.
Yeah,
pretty much
that's the team.
The big hitters, right?
Well, for TJ, I know the big thing, he was an on-it athlete, and then Muscle Farm was like, hey, man, you can't do that. You got to.
Oh.
So he couldn't have on it, so hopefully he can have on it now. Or I don't know if Muscle Farm, obviously have to, I don't know how their contracts work.
I thought Muscle Farm was more like specific towards this kind of supplement. On it's like everything, right?
No, I mean, Muscle Farm's just your traditional meathead supplement company. They're like a Muscle Tack. They're like, they're like.
It didn't seem like it would be that much of a conflict then, would it? The
conflict is it's still supplement. So they said, you can't work with On It if you're going to train here.
Got it.
So for TJ, it could open doors for him, hopefully.
Yep.
Wow. Well, good for them, though. Good for them. We got a fight this weekend. We're thinking about doing a fight companion. Me and Rogan text this morning. It's Sunday morning. It's a fun card. I always like seeing that Marcin Held fight. If you guys remember him in Bellator, he's a jiu-jitsu phenom. You got Bowen from Denver, who trains with my boy Cody. You got Chris Camozzi. Pedro's always fun to watch.
Misha.
Nordine's great to watch. Ben Saunders, shout out to Ben Saunders. And then, obviously, the main event. Let's just go over the main event. We all know I can't pronounce the rest of these weird Russian names. I mean, listen, you got Gustafsson versus Glover Teixeira. I love the matchup. I really do. For Gustafsson, and I'll say this about Gustafsson. I've trained with John Jones. When I trained with Alexander Gustafsson, I walked away fucking memorized. He's fucking huge. First of all, I was like, I can't believe I'm a heavyweight. And his footwork, his wrestling, his boxing, his kickboxing, his jiu-jitsu, he's so goddamn good. If you look at his losses, like basically his loss to John Jones at UFC 165, which I fought Mitrione. I fought Mitrione on that card. And I watched that fight. He was, and some people think he won that fight. Mm-hmm. He was a round away from being declared the best in the world. Then they give him Jimmy Manawa, who's ranked number 5 now, knockout artist. That's not even a fight. Smokes Jimmy, fucking smokes him, right? And then he's right back in the title picture, right? Loses John Jones, they give him Jimmy Manawa, knocks him the fuck out. Then they give him Anthony Johnson. Oh my God. In his hometown, a sold out fucking arena. And he's a god in Sweden, mind you. It's like Brad Pitt walking the streets here. He is so big, billboards, everything. He's a god out there. It's in his hometown. Everyone there's watching. He's fighting Anthony Rumble Johnson, the most dangerous guy in the first fucking 3 minutes. It's for the UFC light heavyweight. Whoever wins this gets the next title shot, guaranteed. And homeboy gets headbutted, knocked out. He gets headbutted, then knocked out.
I do remember.
And there's some, Rogue and I go back and forth. I generally think it was a headbutt.
Some don't.
Yeah, I really do think it's a headbutt. Dude, my heart sank so bad. Not that because I love Anthony Johnson. I love Anthony Johnson. It's just the whole family's there. If the crowd, the country's behind you, and it's 2 minutes, and you get knocked the fuck out. I felt so bad for him. And then he's gone for a little bit, right? Then he fights in October. He fights DC. Again, it's for the light heavyweight championship. And he loses in a split decision this time to DC. A split. If there's different judges, when he fought John or when he fought DC, he's the best in the world. He's ranked number one. We're praising him right now. He loses that one. And then we hear he talked about retirement. And you look at his record, you're like, I fucking get it. John Jones, you lost to him, kind of get fucked over. Anthony Johnson, oh my God. Then he fights DC, split decision. It's just a heartbreaking story, man. It's one of the best I've ever seen. In person, oh my God, guys. For me, it's like if you guys, you see LeBron James on TV, when you see him in person, you're literally memorized. You're like,
mesmerized.
Oh my God, that is a fucking thoroughbred. Oh, that's why he's so good. Like, you look at your bone structure and like, that makes sense why he's the best in the world. Like, watching him on TV doesn't do it justice. I watch Alexander Gustafsson spar with a fucking monster boxer for I forget how many rounds, 8 or 10 rounds, and then go with me for 3. I mean, just dismantle this boxer. I mean, it's something I've never seen, man. I saw Phil Davis, world-class wrestlers, trying to take him down. Not a fucking chance. The kid is so talented. So I heard he's retiring. I get it because for whatever reason, maybe just his heart's not into it. His heart's been broken so many times. He's like, fuck this. So I don't know how much his heart is into it. His last fight with that Jan Blachowicz, a unanimous decision, but it was after a long ass layoff, almost a year layoff, because he was kind of figuring out what he was going to do. That was in Germany. So I'm just wondering where his heart's at. If his heart shows up anywhere in this fight, he should win. Because you look at it, Glover, Teixeira, there's a lot of hype. Glover was like, let me think. Glover was kind of like the Cam Newton of the UFC. Or you could even say that Andrew Luck. There's so much hype on this guy. Chuck Liddell, Dana White went, wait till this motherfucker gets in here. He's wrecking everybody. Everybody. And so he gets to the UFC. His first fight, Kyle Kingsbury, they're slowly creating this hype on him. They give him Kyle Kingsbury. Triangle chokes Kingsbury. Then they give him Fabio, right? And that's a slobber knocker. Then they give him Rampage, decision. So Rampage is a big fight. Then you give him James Tahuna, guillotine choke. People forget how fucking good his jiu-jitsu is. Rolled with him. He's a fucking monster. Then they give him Ryan Bader. We all know Ryan Bader. He knocks Bader out pretty easily. It was a fun fight. Remember, Bader's the first one to show kind of a chink in his armor. Then he gets John Jones and gets fucked. This shows you how good John Jones is. John Jones annihilates him. It's not even a fight. Pops his fucking elbow in the first round against the cage. Annihilates him. Then he gets Phil Davis. They're like, all right. You lost the title fight. Here's Phil Davis. Then he gets fucking out-wrestled by Phil Davis in Brazil. One of the great fights of Phil Davis. Back against the wall, Brazil. Beats him. So he loses John Jones, Phil Davis. Nothing wrong with that. Then they give him Owen St. Preux. Takes him down. Chokes him fuck out in the third round. Pat Cummins, shout out to Pat. I love you, Pat. Couldn't be a worse matchup. I told them that. I fucking hate this fight for Pat. Knocks Pat out. All right. Then you give him Rashad Evans. Dead man walking. Awful fight, Rashad. Knocks Rashad out. Highlight knockout. Then he's back in the picture. They give him Anthony Johnson, and he gets starched. Fucking starched. He got his tooth knocked out. His tooth went uppercut from the fucking Georgia. Here's a fucking southern fried uppercut, son, from Georgia. You douche. 13 seconds. So he's had all this hype on him, and he can beat anyone in the world. not named John Jones, Phil Davis, Anthony Johnson, or Alexander Gustafsson. Anyone else? Yeah, man. I'm taking him all day.
So you think he's taking Alexander? I mean, sorry, not taking Alexander for sure.
I don't think so. You know, the huge X factor here is how bad does Alexander still want to do this? If he shows up in any capacity of himself, Alexander's, hate to tell you, better striker. He's bigger, better cardio. He's been in championship rounds. Some would say he beat DC. Some would say he beat John Jones. Like he's passed that elite test. Alexander's passed that elite test. He's been in those championship rounds. He's excelled. He's had those wars. I just don't know if his heart wants to still do this. And Glover's going to be one of those guys, probably like Vitor. The motherfucker's going to follow Vitor into Ryzen when he's 48 or whatever the fuck he is. Unless, you know, because Glover's whole thing, same thing with Anthony Johnson, he has to get inside and dirty box. He's going to be so surprised when he tries to take Alexander down. It's a fucking nightmare. Ask John Jones. And remember when John Jones and Alexander were fighting, I went, I guarantee Alexander takes him down. I saw his wrestling firsthand. He took me down. I saw his wrestling. I'm like, what in the world? He's so goddamn talented. And if there's a time for him to get what his and to totally redeem himself, it's now with Alexander. The light heavyweight division is so fucking old. There's no one there. I would, you know, John versus Alexander, that's a great story. Think if Alexander came back and beat him. It's a great story. Because let's say John beats DC in this weird world that we're living in, which most likely will happen. John beats DC, maybe. John beats DC. Alexander beats Glover. You get that epic rematch from UFC 165. You get that. Alexander has a way better chance winning it now, if his heart's into it. And then you have DC and Glover fight. That's a fun fight. That's a great fight. Great fucking fight. They match up great together.
When you say heart's into it or not into it, do you think his heart was more like broken because he lost and he just felt like crappy, or do you think he was actually like just not into the sport anymore?
I think he had his heart broken so many times, you know, in that John Jones fight, in the DC fight, that Rumble Johnson fight in his hometown. It'll test you as a man. And I just think he's been doing it for a long time. He's been so close to it, just didn't happen for him. I don't know how happy he was training and stuff like that. I know he's bounced around to different camps. The kid is so talented, it's insane. It's fucking insane. Trained with Glover, talented guy. But gave me some of the toughest rounds of my life. He's a monster. But I'm like, that's a tough fucking dude. He's well-rounded. I walked away with Alexander going, we're not made from the same cloth. Like, he's one of the all-time greats. He's such a freak, man. The fight that him and John at 165 is the display of some of the best athletes on the planet bring each other to fucking death's doorstep. You see both of them in the back, and it's insane. I wish people could see them in the back. We all saw the fight, but when they came to the back of that locker room, it's mind-blowing. They're both so beat up. They're literally the brink of death. One more step, one more. If you hit his head on the wall, if someone dropped them, this game's over. Both of them. They put their heart on the line. So for Gustafsson, I fucking get it, man. But I hope it works out for him. I hope he passed this test, and I hope he gets John, and I hope he beats John, if I'm being honest.
Why do you want him to beat John?
I like a good story. I like a good guy. I think I do think he got screwed over. The DC fight split decision, I thought he beat DC. The John Jones fight, I thought John did edge that one out. If you had a different ref, I could have seen it going his way. The heartbreak in Sweden, it's just, he's one of the good guys, man.
So that's the basic one, right? It's one of the good guys. That's why.
One of the great guys that never got his due, and I don't like that shit. Who do you got?
Dude, on this fight all day, Gustafsson.
All day?
All day, yeah.
Easy for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Glover hasn't blown my ears back, you know. He's an old school guy. He just boxes or he grapples. He's small for the division as far as height wise. And he trains. I think he's still training in fucking some weird camp in his own camp in Connecticut. You know,
he's not with Hackelman anymore.
Hasn't been there in forever. Jeez. Does his own thing there. So that's this Sunday. We'll see if we do a campaign. It's at 10 a.m. But obviously, just stay tuned to social media if we decide to do it.
That would be fun for you, right? 10 a.m.
Yeah, cool.
Sure.
I mean, I'm up at 6 anyways. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, you're up early.
Boom. Is that it, brother?
That's it, man.
All right, guys. Well, as usual, I appreciate you guys listening to the show. We love doing it for you and the support from. I mean, literally, it's mind blowing, man. If you guys would have told me I would have had a sold out world tour in Australia, New York's almost sold out, Long Beach is selling great, and hopefully I have some news soon for Sydney adding a show and maybe some others. Just stay tuned. I'll be blasting out, but I can't thank you guys enough. I'm looking so forward. Australia, New Zealand, New York, June 22nd, Long Beach, July 28th. So you got Australia, Melbourne, Brisbane, Auckland, Sydney, I'm a-coming. New York, June 22nd, I'm a-coming. I'm also doing some spike work for the huge Madison Square Garden fight between Chael Sonnen, Wanderlei, Fedor, Mitrione, Ryan Bader, Phil Davis, Chandler, Lima. I could keep going all day. You got the who's who. The who's who, man. Yeah, man, looking forward to it. June 22nd, New York, Gotham Comedy Club. That bitch is almost sold out, and I'm in Long Beach. The night before UFC 214 in Anaheim, I am in Long Beach, Laugh Factory. All the shows almost sold out. I love you guys. Tonight, if you're listening to this, I'm at the Comedy Store with Rogan, Brian, Adam Ray, Tom Segura. So it's going to be a fun one. I think that's it, guys. As always, bigger, browner, badder. I'm Brendan Schaub. Thank you for listening. I'm out.